This is a regime that has something to hide from the civilized world. States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil, arming to threaten the peace of the world. By seeking weapons of mass destruction, these regimes pose a grave and growing danger. They could provide these arms to terrorists, giving them the means to match their hatred. They could attack our allies or attempt to blackmail the United States. In any of these cases, the price of indifference would be catastrophic. We will work closely with our coalition to deny terrorists and their state sponsors the materials, technology, and expertise to make and deliver weapons of mass destruction. We will develop and deploy effective missile defenses to protect America and our allies from sudden attack. And all nations should know America will do what is necessary to ensure our nation's security. We'll be deliberate, yet time is not on our side. I will not wait on events while dangers gather. I will not stand by as peril draws closer and closer. The United States of America will not permit the world's most dangerous regimes to threaten us with the world's most destructive weapons.
You're listening to Community Radio. Reese Wood.
All right, from 2002, in his State of the Union address, that was President George W. Bush describing regimes that sponsor terror as an axis of evil, in which he included Iraq, Iran, and North Korea. Today is January 29th, the 29th day of 2016, just 336 days remaining until 2017. Let's begin by looking at this day in history, starting with 1834. U.S. President Andrew Jackson orders first use of federal soldiers to suppress a labor dispute in 1834. In 1845, The Raven is published in the Evening Mirror in New York, the first publication with the name of the author, Edgar Allan Poe. In 1850, this day in history, Henry Clay introduces the Compromise of 1850 to the U.S. Congress. Moving on to 1861, this day in history, Kansas is admitted as the 34th U.S. state. In 1886, Carl Benz patents the first successful gasoline-driven automobile. Moving on to 1900, this day in history, the American League is organized in Philadelphia with 8 founding teams. In 1907, Charles Curtis of Kansas becomes the first Native American U.S. Senator in 1907. In 1916, World War I history, Paris is first bombed by German Zeppelins. Moving on to 1936, the first inductees into the Baseball Hall of Fame are announced. That in 1936. Moving on from there to 1963, the first inductees into the Pro Football Hall of Fame are announced. And in 1967, this day in history, the ultimate high of the hippie era, the Mantra Rock Dance, takes place in San Francisco and features Janis Joplin, Grateful Dead, and Allen Ginsberg. That in 1967. Moving on from there now all the way up to 1991, the Gulf War, the Battle of Khafji. Hopefully I got that one right. The first major ground engagement, that is, of the war, as well as its deadliest, begins in 1991 with the Gulf War. And for our last, moving on from 91 to 96 now, President Jacques Chirac announces a definitive end to the French nuclear weapons testing in 1996. Moving on from there now to 2009, Governor of Illinois, Rod Blagojevich, is removed from office following his conviction of several corruption charges, including the alleged solicitation of personal benefit in exchange for an appointment to the United States Senate as replacement for then U.S. President-elect Barack Obama. That from 2009. All right, now for our last look at this day in history from 2015, Malaysia has officially declared the disappearance of missing Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, an incident and its passengers and crew presumed dead. That from 2015. All right, now let's look at this day in Wisconsin history, just a couple this morning. 1851, this day in Wisconsin history, Ripon College Incorporated. On this date, Ripon College, originally chartered as Brockway College, was incorporated. In 1865, this day in Wisconsin history, Civil War history, engagements in South Carolina, the 12th Wisconsin Light Artillery fought a skirmish at the Combahee River on the coast of South Carolina, and the 3rd Wisconsin Infantry fought another one 50 miles west at Robertsville, South Carolina, that in 1865. And in 1873, in Wisconsin history, Charles Henry Mills was born. On this date, Charles Henry Mills was born in Nottingham, England. Charles Henry Mills came to the United States in 1907 as professor of history and theory of music at Syracuse University in New York. In 1908, he accepted the position of professor of music and director of the School of Music at University of Illinois, where he remained until 1914. From 1914 until his death in 1937, Charles Mills was professor of music and the director of School of Music at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. One of his most noted accomplishments in this position was implementing the Wisconsin Plan, which promoted the acceptance of music courses for entrance credit by the University of Wisconsin on an equal basis with other recognized academic subjects. When he arrived at the UW-Madison, the School of Music offered only a 2-year course, leading to a certificate. During his tenure there, he evolved to a 4-year course, leading to a bachelor's degree and master's and doctoral programs that were introduced. Mills, also an accomplished pianist and organist and composer of choral and instrumental works. He served as president of the Wisconsin Music Teachers Association as well. He designed a number of organs in Madison, including a 4-manual concert organ at Music Hall, a 3-manual concert organ for the Masonic Temple Auditorium, and an organ for one of the smaller lodge rooms that were at the Masonic Temple Auditorium. Also, organs for the Calvary, Luther, and St. Andrew's Episcopal churches. The Mills Music Library on UW-Madison campus is named in honor of Charles Henry Mills. And for our last look at this day in Wisconsin history, Heather Graham is born. On this date, film actress Heather Graham was born in Milwaukee. Graham's filmography includes roles in Drugstore Cowboy from 1989, Boogie Nights from 1997, and Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me from 1999. All right, guys, that finishes our look at this day in history and Wisconsin history. We're coming to our first break about 20 after the hour right now. When we get back, I'll have the word of the day. Also, we're going to be chatting with musician-songwriter Jay Matthews. That's Jay Mathis. And that is a pre-record. He was in studio yesterday and also played in Beloit at the coffee shop. So if you Beloiters listening caught him, let me know what you think, and you're welcome to send in anything to the WADR Morning's Facebook page. But it'd be great to hear from anybody who caught Jay Mathis at the Beloit College coffee shop. That was last night. We're going to be chatting with him with a pre-recorded interview when we get back. As I said, forecast, headlines, and in the second hour, we have a guest from the Janesville School District. That is Angela. She's going to be talking about the PJ4 program. That is a preschool program. We're going to learn all about that in the second hour this morning. Let's head to our first break right now, guys. I'll see you right after this. Some Gallows Pole, Zeppelin Unplugged, and also a little Jefferson Starship this morning. See you guys after this. Early, or is it a little late? Right now, it's about halfway through the first hour, and we're going to get to our interview with a singer-songwriter, Jay Mathis, in just a couple moments. Before we get there, we got to look at our forecast and get to the word of the day. Right now, 18 degrees outside. It's pretty chilly. Humidity at 73%. For our detailed forecast today, increasing clouds with a high near 30, light and variable wind becoming south 5 to 10 miles per hour in the morning. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 30, south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour becoming west after midnight. For Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 41. That's right, all the way up in 41. It's going to be like spring, I guess. Wow. West winds around 10 miles per hour for Saturday, and Saturday night, cloudy with a low around 34, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. It does say Sunday a 50% chance of rain and another high of 42. So looks like we got a warm weekend ahead of us. Maybe everybody will get to get out and enjoy some events in the community. It's not going to be freezing, at least. All right, let's get to the word of the day right now. Here's one. We're going to have to get our computer friend to work with me on this one and get that education this morning. Here it is.
Obstreperous.
Obstreperous. You guys heard that one before? The word of the day.
Obstreperous.
All right, the definition. Marked by unruly or aggressive noisiness, clamorous, or stubbornly resistant to control or unruly. Some examples. After 2 months at sea, the dwindling food supplies and declining confidence in the captain, the ship's crew members became
obstreperous
and began to plot a mutiny. All right, guys, that's word of the day. Let's get into our interview with Jay Mathis, singer-songwriter from Milwaukee. He was here in studio yesterday. We did a pre-record, and here we go right now. When we get back, we'll be near the top of the hour. That means we'll be near the Daily Devo. And in the second hour today, we have a guest from the Janesville School District, Angela. And she's going to be here to talk about the PJ4 program. That is the School District of Janesville's preschool program, now in their 4th year. That's what we got coming up in the second hour today. Right now, that interview that I've been telling you guys all about. Here we go. See you around 8 a.m. after the interview.
You're listening to WADR with my dad, Reese Wood.
All right, we're sitting here in studio now. It is the second hour of the morning show. That means we have a guest in studio. This morning, we have a musician with us. That is Jay Mathis. Jay, let's get a little introduction, a little background. I usually ask people, let's get an idea of that long wandering path it took to get to where you are right now today.
Sure. Yeah, I started playing music back in high school with a couple guys, battle the bands and whatnot. That went into college, and after college, I was done with music, and I don't know. I went into sales and went into the real world, so to speak. And I was just drinking with some friends one night, and one of the guys were like, "Well, we should play a show sometime out in town." I'm from a small town, Sussex is where I went to high school. It's about hour and a half, hour 15 from here. And went out to the bars and played a set, and a lot of people came out, and other bar owners in town took notice, and so we started playing at other bars too, and just kind of escalated from there. We went from one show every couple months to 2 shows every couple months to 2 shows a month, and now I play out a couple times each weekend. So I'm currently on tour, Run With Me tour. It's 18 shows in 5 states. That ends February 19th. So I'm just starting the second half of that now, and just having fun with it, and always trying to do something different, and trying to create something that maybe people around Janesville and people around Milwaukee haven't heard before.
So, all right, tell us about the music. Give us a little idea. We're going to hear a track in just a little bit, but describe it yourself.
Sure. Yeah, I say there's a little bit of everything. When I grew up there, I was listening to everything from Garth Brooks to Boys to Men to rock music to this to that. And so you'll hear a little bit of everything, but singer-songwriter music, Americana music, modern folk, a little bit of country in there. And so you get that. There's definitely a raw sound to it, an authentic sound. All the songs are acoustic based. I wrote them all on my guitar. So they were built from that foundation and built up. So, I think there's a lot of different genres, and a lot of different fans of different genres will connect with this music just the same. It's authentic. It's real. It's not produced. There's no loops, no beats on it. There's no pitch correction on it. What you hear is what we recorded in the studio. That was very important. And we recorded this album, A Drier Place. And we just wanted something something real, regardless of genre. We just wanted it to sound. We wanted to hear an artist and not a producer.
Oh yeah.
And so that's kind of why we built all these songs around the acoustic guitar, and I can play all of them any night at a show, which was important to me. Previous music I had written, we had these songs and they were great, but they were band songs and they didn't really transfer to a live show or a live setting. And with this album, I can pick up a guitar and play any one of them, and they still sound like the original recording. They still sound full. So
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna listen to this first track. This is "The Light" from Jay Mathis, and we're viewing this on YouTube this morning. You got a couple videos up on YouTube, right?
Yeah, the Light is my first like real music video. We crowdfunded this. Everybody in the video donated to this campaign and donated to this video and helped make it possible. And so, yeah, that's on YouTube. Just I think it's Jay Mathis Music on YouTube, but they can search for The Light. And this was, like I said, out in Sussex, out at a friend's farm. So check it out. We had a lot of fun making it. So hopefully you guys have a lot of fun watching it.
All right, here it goes. We'll be back in a minute.
You and me, we always had that something. Summer nights we were burning it down. Any longer, my love it grows in the light.
All right, that was "The Light" from Jay Mathis. We're hanging out with him right now, and he's a local musician. You're out of Milwaukee.
Yes, sir. Wauwatosa.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. So, we just kind of got an idea of, we're looking at the YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
And my first impression, as I was telling you off air, is it was a very quality video. So give us like an idea. How did you get this video together?
Well, when I wrote this song on "The Light" last spring, and I didn't put it on the record that I recorded about 6 months earlier, and I just kept singing it, and I'm like, I got to finish this song. And when I was finishing the song, I had like images in my head of like, it was a very visual song for me, and so I'm like, you know what? I've never done a music video. I think this is the time to do it. Release this as a single, put together a music video, whatnot. But those are pretty expensive. Oh, and, yeah. Crowdfunding is kind of the thing to do. And crowdfunding it's kind of a weird thing. I was against it because I saw some artists take advantage of the idea and the concept of it. And
definitely
people who could do their own thing weren't doing it just because they had the option of having somebody else pay for it. This instance, I have some long-term goals, with my girlfriend and financially and whatnot. And this music video really wasn't going to happen without the help of, without the support of friends, family, and fans. So we went the crowdfunding route for the first time. And anybody who's ever made a music video knows that those can be very expensive, get very expensive very quickly. So we did this crowdfunding thing, and I got this really cool dude, Alex Walzak, to help with the music video. He brought out the crane and the cameras and everything, and we just needed a beautiful day for it, and we got one last August out at a friend's farm. The friend was like, yeah, for sure, bring everybody out here. And everybody who donated to the campaign is in the video. The band, even the band, people that donated, people that showed an interest in the song and my music. And so it was a really cool day to come out and have everybody who literally made this video happen.
Yeah.
Come out on this farm, beautiful day. We had whiskey, we had Red Bull, we had drinks, we had food, we had everything, and just come out and enjoy the process of it, and be part of it and take pictures and dance and sing and have a good time with it. And we made sure everybody that was there is on the video. It's just a thing, it's just one more thing that I had never done. And I think most of the people there had never done, and just something different, something fun. And we created this 3.5 minute, 4 minute long thing that I'm just so proud of.
It's solid. I mean, when you go in and try to do this for the first time, I'm sure, like you said, getting the funding, trying to get the people together, it's a lot of work. I know about that, but you made it happen.
Yeah.
And awesome results.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, and just the story. I mean, Alex, I sat down with him and he's just like, what do you want to do? And it's just like, oh, it's like, yeah, I have all these ideas, and how to put them into some sort of conceptual thing is just like, that was half the battle, was sitting down and writing a script, and where do I want this, and who do I want showing it during this part and this part and this part. And it was just an adventure, man. I mean, it was really cool and definitely something that I'd love to do again.
I had to ask you about the band because, I was watching the video and there was a band. So, kind of give us an idea. You said you play all these tracks yourself live.
Yeah.
But, you had a couple people in the video. Give us an idea. Like, how did they just contribute to the track?
Yeah, I mean, I've done solo acoustic albums before, and I don't know. I just, when I record, I like having more of a band.
Yeah.
And just to kind of fill out the sound a little bit. And but I do play solo acoustic. And so sometimes the trick is getting what you've recorded and transferring it to a live setting. I play over 100 shows a year, and I want to play all the songs that are on the CD. And so you want to have this nice full sounding record, but at the same time, you want to be able to go on a stage and make sure that the crowd is hearing what they want to hear if they've bought the album, and they're not missing anything. So the band in the video is all people who contributed to the campaign. One of them is actually my girl. She's playing bass. Corinne on violin. She played on the track. But the rest are just, friends, family who were just like, let's do it. Let's jump on this video. And for I have been in bands before, and for bigger gigs, I'll get a duo or I'll get a band. But I like going on stage and really showcasing myself as an artist, and I have a little bit more flexibility that way. And once again, all these songs were written with the idea that it's just going to be me and a guitar up on stage. And so how do the songs transfer from the album to the live setting? I think they do really well.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we're going to head to another track right now. We're going to hear a track from your ReverbNation.com site. You're on Reverb Nation.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a couple artists in here who do the Reverb Nation. It's a pretty popular site.
I love it. Yeah,
right.
It's a nice tool for artists to use.
This next track is going to be Oceans. Give us a little background on this one.
Oceans is a song about leaving something big in hopes of finding something bigger. And specifically, it was about a relationship of mine that was great and perfect, really, in a lot of ways. But there was something else that I needed personally, and so you walk away from something big and you turn your back. If you can visualize, like, America, for instance, you turn your back on one ocean and you walk and you travel that distance with the hopes of finding something bigger on the other side, which I did. I've now been with my current girlfriend for 2.5 years, and that's what this song is about. It's about trusting, really, that there's something else out there for you, even though you have something great, needing and wanting something greater.
I like it. All right, guys, we're going to head to this track, and I'll see you right after this. And that's from ReverbNation.com. That's where you can check out some of his tracks. But also, before we go too far, you got this pretty awesome website that I'm looking at. That's jmathis.com.
jmathis.com, yep.
All right, so you got all your social media links and SoundCloud and all that, but kind of tell me about your website. I like to ask people, because to really be successful at what you're doing these days, you got to have a good website. You got to have that web presence. Mm-hmm. So that had to have been something you really had to focus on, right?
Well, I'm a business management major, and so I took a lot of marketing classes, and so my image and the way things kind of come together and the brand, they all have to be pretty identical. And so I worked really hard on with a website, Twitter, Instagram. Twitter and Instagram, I'm at jmathis. Reverb Nation, Facebook, all of it, they have this common colors, common themes, common pictures. And, when you're just starting out like myself, that's all my job, unless I want to pay for somebody to do it, which I don't. You're your publicist, you're your manager, your agent, your web designer, you're everything.
Exactly.
And so I spent a lot of hours and a lot of late nights working on the website, working on the Twitter, the Instagram. I keep up on social media like crazy. And that's all me. I mean, everything you see from music to social media that's all me working that. And that's the same with a lot of artists, and any local musician will tell you the same. I mean, when you're first starting out, which I am, I mean, I've been playing about 4.5 years, but you're still just starting out. It's an uphill battle with booking, with keeping up with everything, with getting fans. Like we were talking about getting fans and getting followers and people who care about what you
all
do.
That groundwork.
It's all very difficult, and it's all an uphill battle. I love doing it, and you have to love doing it. I had somebody when I played New Moon Cafe in Oshkosh, there was a couple high school kids, and they were like, you know what, we love playing music, and what advice would you have for us? And it's just like, you have to love it because it's too much work. If you don't love it, if you're doing it for money, you're going to be done. Cause there's some nights you can make money and you can, whatever, you can sell CDs, you can sell stuff. And some shows I walk away and I'm like, wow, that was a great show or whatever. But there's going to be nights where you make $5 and your will to want to play and your will to meet new people and express yourself musically and all of that has to be greater than anything, because otherwise you're just there. It's too much work otherwise.
Oh yeah. We definitely know about that here. Volunteering on a community radio station. Mm-hmm. You got to love radio.
Yep.
Otherwise you'll find yourself saying, I'm not getting paid to be here. And you, like I said, you really got to remember, do what you love. And that's what you're talking about.
Yep. And, my full-time job, I actually just quit because I had that choice. Do I work really hard at doing something that I really am passionate about and I really love for, okay amount of money, or do I do something that I'm not that passionate about that will and live a very comfortable lifestyle, and that's something that I wrestled with for a long time. But then it was, I just made that decision, like, you know what, this is a lot of work. This music stuff is a lot of work, but this is what's in my heart. It's what I think about when I go to bed at night. It's what I think about when I wake up in the morning. It's what I want to do. And, so then it's just like, then do it, then go out and do it. And so you'll see that the website's updated all the time. It's JAYMATTHES.com. It's updated constantly with different shows, different stuff. Twitter, I've Twittered, Instagram, Facebook, I post every single day. This for me is making money is just as important as making a connection with somebody. And when I look back on playing music, I want to remember, all the times and all the shows and meeting people and maintaining those relationships just as much as, well, how much did I make at, you're
in the right place. I tell people all the time, I say, there's about 8 forms of capital. There's not just the financial capital.
Yep.
There's spiritual, and you got your social capital. That's what you're talking about. I try to tell people all the time, the money will not always be there. And smart people know that. You don't make your biggest moves focusing on money. You make your biggest moves trusting your gut and then kind of deciding what is it that you really love doing.
Yep.
And that's exactly what you're doing.
Yep. And it takes a certain amount of trust in yourself and that everything will work out okay. And and I was at out at a bar in Madison maybe 6 months ago, and I had my girl's uncle.
All right, guys, that was most of the interview with Jay Mathis, singer, songwriter, musician. He played in Beloit last night near the Beloit College at the coffee shop. And if you guys want to catch the rest of that interview, all you got to do is go to SoundCloud. Janesville Community Radio has a page on SoundCloud, and that's where we keep all of our archived content. And as I said, the interview with Jay Mathis is posted right now. And you guys know what time it is right now. We're near the top of the hour, about to get in the second hour of the show. Today, we're going to find out in the second hour about the PJ4 program. The School District of Janesville has a preschool program. We're joined today by Angela. She's going to give us all the details here in the second hour. But before we get there, we're going to get to the Daily Devo, and I have a PSA for the Hedberg Public Library, a couple events going on, and let's get to that right now. So you guys